Thank you very much. Resting in the Bardo. What's the Bardo? So I'm just going to rattle off, as you can see on the screen there, some of the words. I sent out a little article by Francesca, who I love, and I love her book, by the way, and I love her writing. And then I'll read a little bit more at other times. But what she says, and see if this doesn't, if you don't remember this, because we went over this many times in our other training. Think of the word that comes to you that is most synonymous with your understanding of the Bardo. Write it in chat or popcorn it out.
Limbo.
Limbo. What? In between.
Space.
Space.
Break.
Break. Any others, or is there anything in chat there?
I wrote that I'm just not clear about what it is.
Yeah, no one is, Robin. So you're right there with the rest of us.
Okay.
Don't feel like you're somehow behind. We not only don't really know what a Bardo is, by the way, we don't like them. We don't like them. From the point of view of the Tibetans and the Mahayana tradition, that which has the best teachings around, by the way, the Bardo, they say it is the most certain reality. The most certain. It is not actually, Dennis, you were pretty close, weren't you? It's not really the space between objects. It's likely the most certain, the most constant, the most apparent when we're not fixated on objects, isn't it? And you said space, right? It is really the most groundless truth. I'm going to use that word. And then we know that groundless and boundless are interconnected, groundless and boundless of our, they say, of the Dharma or of our reality. That everything that by its appearance looks solid is a falsity. And so now what? So then how does that inform you in terms of how to do then your life? The Bardo is the most clear, apparent, groundless reality. Everything else, what? A dream, a thunderbolt, a dewdrop, a blink. Everything else. And then what does that, if you know this, because I do know at some level we all do, right? We do. We don't like it, but we do know. If you know that, how does that inform your way of living? Like right now, how does it inform it? Right. Only this. Then, right? Going to the coffee after, really? Ha ha, said Joko. She'd laugh. Ha ha ha. Plans, she'd say, ha ha ha. Plans, and it just piss you off, right? Like, right? The partner's like this. She'd go, fixation, just you. Because nobody's like anything. That's one of our problems, isn't it, with them? Can't you just be like consistent, or the way I need you to be, or right, loving in the way I need you to be, or right? We struggle then, don't we, with the reality. And all forms of suffering then we know to be resistance, reluctance, refusal, and denial of the truth of the Bardo. Does that make sense to everyone? And so then what's the practice?
Accepting it.
Accepting it.
Releasing.
Yeah. There's a lot of letting go in this now, right? A lot of letting go. What's the letting go? I thought I could count on that. I thought that was the way it would go. I thought that's the way it should be. I thought that's the way I should be. right? All the thinking to sew together or suture an otherwise continuously particled, says quantum mechanics, completely particled reality. And then because we're trying so hard to glue it all together, aren't we? We are. We just are. We don't even have to try to pretend we're not. Yes, we are.
Super glue.
Super glue, trying to glue it together, and it doesn't work because it never works, because you cannot glue particles together. They're ever in motion, ever in change, ever in, right? Then what do? What happens to us then? We get angry, we get anxious. Our two favorite realities, right? Then we spend a lot of time attending to our anger or our anxiety because it's not working out. It's just not working out. And I try, don't you hear people? This is our common complaint. I'm trying and trying and trying to glue this thing together. And no matter what I do, I can't get it together. You are correct. Now, where's the problem? You are correct. Right, right. It's just, the problem is it's not gluable. It's not resolvable. It's not gonna cohese. It's not gonna come, and we hate that truth, right? Ego, let me go to that. I don't want to say us because that implies something I don't mean. So let me take that back. I don't mean us, because I know that we know, don't we? I know we do. Truly, we understand. And the work then is exactly the verb I used in the subject line. What's the word I used? Resting. Then, how do we rest then in the groundless / boundless reality of the bardo? The in-between. I'm just going to use some words here for fun. The words that came up for Francesca were interval, hiatus, gap, link between two objects, holding, right? We use awareness, the vast open space and that holds everything briefly in its brilliant flickered reality, twinkling stars, as we say, in the night sky, right? So we can also recognize the bardo as the bridge, not just the gap. Can you feel the difference? There's also a bridge-like quality, a place to actually rest between the perception only of solid objects. What do we solidify most, folks? Anybody know? Spend a lot of time on self, don't we? Get that back together, get me back together, get this for me, get this away from me, right? Get me in a certain perception, a certain light, a certain body. Oh, we got all kinds of games that we all play. Always, always, with the result being the bump up against what? The bump up against the truth, the Dharma. It cannot be glued. It cannot be sustained. It cannot be held. It can only be recognized, then appreciated and loved for its appearance, right? In its beautiful appearance, sounds, colors, right, texture, but cannot then be gripped without the rope burn. The rope burn, and the rope burn is what? And the suffering, because that's getting pulled right out of your hand, right? And so then what? Anxiety, anger, resistance, avoidance, denial, unhappiness with the essential reality of this life. And that's why we're here, isn't it? We're here to go, there really is a way to keep pointing oneself into, I'm going to stay with Dennis's word, open space, isn't there? There really is. There's a practice. It's to hear, sense, see, feel, touch, know, but what? Only in its brilliant appearance. And then we touch lightly, they say, not with, which is our tendency, and rest back. We touch it and rest back. That's going to be our practice today. Touch and rest back. Leanne, good morning. We have a chair right there for you. Please join us. Does everybody understand what I'm saying?
When you say touch, are you saying
Touch.
feel the unsettledness? And what does that mean when you say touch?
Yeah, I mean, touch whatever sense object is arising. And it would also be the grip, wouldn't it? Because there that sensation might be. It might be a sound. It might be a visual, right? And it's, look at how solid everything looks here, right? Isn't it ridiculous? It's ridiculous. We process, I guess I understand better. So I'm going to give you this example and then we'll practice. We process things as solid at like 1 to 4, what would you call those? Dots. Yeah, a moment, right? And so that's a picture. We take the picture, click. Pixels, thank you. We take the click, we look at it, looks pretty damn solid. You go, that looks pretty good. If you really then go up to 16, right? Then you start to see what looks like movement, space. You go up to 24, everything's falling apart. This is a journey experience. This is what's in the journey. See, the journey experiences go, we're going to help you get a little sense of the reality here. And everybody calls it a trip. I think that's hilarious. I think we should call it the reality. Everything else is actually the trip. This is the dream. That's actually what's happening. Movement, blah, blah, blah. And everybody goes, right? And my hair is up on my hand right now, right? From the complete dissolution and reappearance of that, right? And everybody's going, I don't want that. Let's glue this thing back up, right? And the whole point, why do we do things like psilocybin or journey experiences then with people who have depression, people who have a treatment resistant? Why do we do it? Yeah, how to help them start to go, wait a minute, I'm going to have to learn how to rest there. We really know 2 experiences for people with then untreatable or treatment resistant cancers help them recognize not only themselves, but the cancer. The whole thing is just particle. And there's a lot of space. I'm going to stay with Dennis's word, to rest. There's nothing to fight with. There's not, right? I don't have to try to glue it all up anymore. So know where the suffering really is then. It is not your life. It's not true. And it doesn't matter what's happening. And I'm not being flippant. I'm not saying it's not painful. I'm saying that's not where the suffering is. That's life. Where the suffering is that I got to glue it together. And you won't be able to. Will you? You won't. And I don't care what glue you get, and I don't care what hardware store you went to, and I don't care how practiced, right? I've got a lot of people, by the way, going to Breathe Degrees. Anybody know Breathe Degrees? Tyler, Breathe Degrees in Carlsbad. Breathe Degree. Yeah. Oh, everybody's heard of it.
Oh, okay.
Breathe Degrees.
Just heard about that.
Yeah. Oh, it's a big thing. Tyler owns it. Breathe Degrees. You go in, you do some really breath work, you get into an altered state, you get into maybe a little feeling of a euphoria, rapture, a certain kind of bliss state. You can even sort of pass out. There's even a quality in the breath work where you can just literally and go into convulsive states. And everybody comes out of there going, that was great. That was great. And then you go do a cold plunge and that was great, exhilarating. And then you go do a workout, you know, a big hit workout, you go, that was great. And then you go out there and
Have a
just
beer.
and fuck up your life, right? And then you fuck up your life. Why?
You can't maintain that.
You
sense
cannot
of-
sustain that.
Yeah.
So then you got to go back to breathe degrees. And you do, because you went, that was good. Right? That's like a great heroin. No, I'm in no way faulting breath work. Don't mistake it. I'm no way faulting cold plunge. I'm not. I want you to just understand what it is.
Adrenaline,
Yeah, just know what it is.
but it's the same thing.
That's exactly right. Right? Looking for a something to grab. Isn't it? It's just one more thing to grab. So you have chosen, by virtue of being here this morning, all of you on Zoom and those of you here in the garden, you have chosen the hard path. Or the path has picked you. And I think to some extent it's probably more bad. I didn't pick this because no, I don't want to work that hard. I don't want to work no, just give me something easy. Give me something that feels good. Give me something that I can run to. Give me the bologna sandwich. I'm the caramel corn girl. I don't want, no, don't give me the hard thing. Except what? You eventually run out of room because there's not enough caramel corn. There's not enough breathe degrees. There's not enough money. There's not enough sex. There's not enough martinis, tennis, pickleball. What? Psychedelic journey. It doesn't matter, is it? Not enough. You can't afford it. Can you? Not really. Because what are you going to run it right into the bardo? The moment here that is unresolvable. It's unresolvable. What do I mean by that?
That's what it is.
Yeah, there's no place else. There isn't.
You know, like you
Keeping
said,
in
it's
mind
changed.
that analogy, if you can't afford it, even if you can, you become bored with it.
Yes. And you can't sustain it anyway. It's why people with money, and I will say this really, not having nothing against money. It's the use of money can be done for all kinds of, but people with money struggle the most in some ways because they can't understand why they're not happier. They can't understand why the big gate with the gorgeous orchard and the isn't working. It's not that it's not lovely, but it isn't going to keep you away, is it, from the bardo? The truth of the present moment, which is what? I will lose everything I love. And in fact, I'm doing it every moment. And then we wake up, don't we, Leanne? We wake up, don't we? When that person's not physically, oh, well, whoops, wait a minute. That's not so great. What about how do I bear this truth? Because even in my practice life, even in these traditions, what are we doing? We're trying to find a place to land. And so the bardo says, forget about it. Forget about it. It's not there. Right? And so we're going to practice that together. Makes sense to everybody? How to rest in uncertainty, says Trungpa. How to rest in uncertainty. So when Robin said, I don't know what that is, that's probably the best statement about the bardo. Nowhere to hide, says Leslie. Isn't it the truth? Nowhere to land. And as Joko would say, no ground. No ground. The immediate experience of the present moment, offering us only space. So we're going to work our way into that a little bit. Let's get ready to sit. And so, I'm already laughing because I have a beautiful sense of the solidness of the ground beneath my feet. Ha ha ha, says Joko. Ha ha. The false sense of the ground beneath my feet. Why? My feet aren't even solid, even if the ground was. And can we feel just for a second for fun what I'm going to call the non-solidity? Oof, that's a little tough. The ever-changing reality or the particled nature, how about that, of the feet? How do you know it? Nothing solid there. How do you know the particled, non-solid nature of the feet? Tingling, tension, tightness, cold, warm, right? The ever-changing, flowing reality. Can we just make contact or open the sense door to sensations or feeling that continuous changing, non-solid, non-permanent, and consequently non-reliable nature in the feet? And we go, I could do that. That's not so hard. And then we're going to move up beyond the feet. You can keep contact with the feet a little bit. You don't have to get rid of it. Moving up into the legs and hips. Feeling first the false sense of solidity. The weightedness gives us a sense of solidity. Gravity holding us gives us a sense of solidity. But can you feel the ever-changing and spacious reality of the whole of the lower body? With each arising and passing sensation, tingling, tension, tightness, weightedness, pressure, contact, itchy, warm, hot, doesn't matter the sensation. You're just opening to feeling. The reality is that there is nothing to hold. Can we rest in the gap, in the in-between? And remember, we're now going to use the word connection or bridge. Open space, even here in the area of the lower body. How do you catch it? You catch it in the gap. The tingling ends and turns into throbbing, which arises and passes. We call that the brilliant appearance, which turns into numbness, which turns into nothing, which turns into inattention, because we like objects unless we remember and return to open space. And so we're recognizing the challenge already, aren't we? How do I find the open space when I've got all of these objects appearing or phenomenon rolling on? How do I find the open space? Well, we begin by resting in open space itself. And so I'd like you to cultivate for a moment that sense of the sky-like quality of, well, everything. And let everything have a sense of vapor a sense of the dream, we could say. Nothing permanent, nothing fixed, nothing solid. Like everything being a cloud. The sense of the whole body sitting here. Mostly particled stardust and space. And then see where the mind goes to rest. If we're recognizing the particled reality, the fraying edges of everything, where does the mind go to rest? And we have been instructed into the vaporous, non-solid, ever-changing reality of the breath, which you cannot grab, grip, hold, and keep. And or the open space in which it arises and passes. See where you can find your resting place. And you may experiment with this a bit. And you hold the ever-changing, fluctuating, flowing reality of the breath in the container of open space. That means you have to give the breath more room. We can't grip the breath, we can't grab the breath. And in fact, there's nothing to grab. And we can move then beyond feeling, for example, the sensations of breath, to open and include the ever-flowing, ever-changing, non-reliable reality of sound. And remember, their sound is appearing and disappearing. We're resting in open space. That's how we catch the fluctuations in sound. Their beginning and ending reality. There's nothing constant in the body. There's nothing constant in the sense door of hearing. And in fact, then, there is no hearer. There is no one solid feeler, breather, or hearer. And so we continue to recognize the self-making, the I and me and mine making mind. And we smile or laugh, ha, 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 and we rest back. The bridge, the conduit that connects all things. The BARDO. Even our reactivity, our anxiety, our anger, our distress is simply ever flowing, changing appearance of conditions. Not more substantial in any way. Not more me or mine. And so it's beautiful when we recognize this is the awakening, the grip around wanting, liking this, not wanting, liking that, and how the very wanting and not wanting is the solidifier. It is the glue. But it doesn't work. And so we smile. And we rest back again. And then we even notice thoughts and the way we solidify, identify, claim, or reject. Thoughts is solid. Thoughts about the self are not the self. Thoughts about your life are not your life. Simply a rising phenomenon based on conditions, habits. Nothing to claim or reject here. We simply notice thoughts arising. We smile. We rest back. And then we can think about the ways you have attempted to solidify the bardo of living, or the bardo of dying, how to establish some kind of certainty, some kind of handle. And you can think about the statements you've made, often sounding something like, I am something. Confused, angry, pained, sad, disgusted, disappointed, guilty, anxious. And we smile. And as we have been saying, we let go just a little bit more. We recognize the thought and the emotion, the corresponding sensations, all conditions dependently arising. Not me, not mine, not I. And instead of shutting down, instead of gripping, we relax and open. If you think you're fearful or fearless, you're wrong. If you think you're good or bad, not true. Confused or wise. There are no solid states. And as one moment sets the stage for the next, it would be best to practice the letting go of whatever object you're holding, sensing, seeing, feeling, hearing, touching, or thinking. Let it go and dissolve back into the open space. And see where the mind goes to try to establish that certainty, that security, that protection, some kind of stability somewhere. And then we keep bumping up against the Dharma, the reality that there is no solid ground. And so we train to rest in open space. And against the relief of the open space, all objects become brilliant appearances. The sounds are sharper. Their beginning, middle, and end is known more clearly. Because we are looking through the lens of open space. And then the body falls away. Doesn't mean it doesn't feel what it feels. It's not mine, me, or I. The thoughts come and go, the sounds appear and disappear, and we smile. And we rest back. And then anxieties, anger, disappointments, resentments, regrets. We simply see that too as brilliant appearances, objects arising and passing away. And then we begin to recognize that there is only one place to rest, that there is no object. No solid self. And this is a moment of liberation. And we smile and are free. And we feel compassion for ourselves and for all beings in the rope burn, in the grip. And remember that this too is not permanent, not fixed, not solid. And may we fill the open space with loving kindness and compassion. Freed from enmity, from anger, from resentments, resistance, anxiety, wanting, and not wanting. We rest in the vast, open, and boundless space of wisdom and compassion. Until all beings are free. Can you feel the freedom? Can you feel the fear? Ah, like falling off of a cliff, which is not solid, and flying through space in a body that is not solid, and the fear of landing on the ground, which is not solid. Yeah, we use the visuals to grab a object, don't we? Ground, me, you, something. And there is no problem in that either. You just knowing it. I want something. This no thing is, full of shit. Forget this idea. Don't we? We don't like this. And then what's your practice? Where's your practice? And I'll ask Cindy, where's Cindy's practice then? When you go, I don't like the reality. I don't like the truth. It's okay, because not liking is not solid either. There'll be moments where you're resting in it, or isn't there? There are moments where you just go, that's it, folks, nowhere to go, nothing to fight, right? There's nothing to resist. We get worn out ultimately. Its appearance. Right? We have a perception of a solid beginning and a solid middle and a solid end, and it looks like it, doesn't it? But remember, we're really floating around in a kind of delusion, a dream. It's not actually true. If we could get our quantum microscope, you'd see everything is merely particles dancing, including you. You are as much off that seat as you are on it. You don't even know it. It's true though. And again, this is what sometimes journey work does. It goes, what am I going to grip? Everything is fraying. Right? And so then what do you know you hold? Well, we often hold thoughts and feelings. We hold ideas about self. We hold ideas about other. We hold ideas about life. This is not our wisdom, however. Wisdom is not an idea. at all. It's a knowing beyond concept. That's how we understand it, beyond concept. So we've got all those bright guys over there at Salk Institute. They're very, very smart guys. Not that much wisdom, but smarter than smart. They have knowledge. It's unbelievable. They cannot sit next to each other in a cubicle. They cannot, because I'm smarter than you. My idea is better than yours. I'm not sharing that grant money with you. My research is more important than your research. Why? Well, because I'm actually more important than you. I'm Czechoslovakian, you're Romanian. Right? Look at smartest guys in the world. No wisdom. Because if wisdom, what would you do? You'd go, let's all figure out how to do this. Wouldn't that be great? I'm going to take some of my money and you're going to take some, we're going to fix, because you got a kind of smart I don't have. Look at what they could do. Oh my God. It's terrifying. It'll blow up. We couldn't keep up with them. And we can't get them to do it. We can't get them to do it. Right. No, we can't. Right. And why? Not because we can't get them to do it. It's because we can't do it.
And the systems are flawed.
Yeah. We're the system. That's us. There's no thing over there. That's us not being able to go. How do I, rather than separate, recognize that we are all of us more similar exactly than we are separate. We are more interconnected than we are apart. We are more a part of the space than we are distinct. But it's very hard to hold because what? We don't like. Ego doesn't like it. Ego likes the me, holding the me. Yeah. Let me see whether somebody has something to say. So nowhere to hide, Leslie. Thank you. I love that. That tingling for me in a spiritual way, always there when we are connected to divine feminine earth energy that our bodies are made of. Yes. Any kind of elemental energy, we are a part of it all. And it is a part of us. And can we recognize its appearance? Because it is not constant either, right? Feminine energy, masculine energy, neither feminine nor masculine, both feminine and masculine, both and neither, arising and passing. Where do we rest? Where do we rest? In it all, right? We rest in it all. And then you can notice that particular constellation of experience called feminine, or that particular, right? And by the way, nothing substantive there either. Who can hold that? Right? Nobody, just in its arising. And we name those little constellations for what? Some kind of recognition, don't we? We go, oh, there's Orion. And that little thing goes like that. And we get little things over there. And we get the Big Dipper over here. Is there such a thing? No. No, there's no, it's a dream. And we don't like it. And we love naming things. Don't we? We love it. This is a thing. And don't we? We feel good when we do it. Like, I know that plant. Do you know that plant? I know that plant. Oh, you're so smart. Right? Don't we love it? What do you know? I don't know anything, actually. I only know this and what I can make contact with in its arising and that it's passing. And we're intolerant of death, aren't we? Which is happening every breath. Every single breath, we're intolerant of it. And I'm watching my own family, right, with deep compassion, deep, deep, deep compassion because of the resistance. don't we? Because of the resistance. He can't, really? How are we gonna work that out? We're gonna get a different hospice. Sure. Not wrong. Not necessarily wrong. But really, what's the reason? Well, the reason is, then we can keep them alive. Doesn't mean hospice was doing a good job, by the way, because they weren't. They weren't doing what they were supposed to be, what they had agreed to do. Right.
It's also fear, kindness, fear of around
Yes.
my sister.
Oh, I'm so sorry, Cindy. Oh my gosh.
I mean, it's we were married to her.
Yes.
The kids grew up
Yes.
and the thing, and my heart aches, but the thing of was that's
The suffering.
it's the suffering.
Yes.
Scared that you have no-
That's right. No. Yes. Yes. I think it becomes scary. So what Cindy is saying, by the way, is that a sister-in-law just died at 66. That's a very painful, by itself, it's painful, right? By itself, because we don't want to have people dying at 66 or 46 or 26, and certainly not 6, and not actually even at 96. Really, not really. So already difficult, right? The truth of our humanness is there. And then what Cindy is saying is when you see someone suffering, either because of the physical realities of pain or because of the resistance struggle against it, either one, it's worse. And we suffer then too. Can we recognize even suffering?
Well, you
As-
said, I thought it was interesting, the text said she didn't deserve an end like this. Nobody deserves an end like this. It's like we all have to, you know, we all have to
I
meet
think
these
she meant
suffering.
because, you know, her
Yeah.
mom did not have
Sure.
So you're right, nobody
Yeah.
deserves to die.
No.
Nobody deserves to die. You know, nobody wants that.
I guess my point wasn't like bad people should be in pain, but it's like we all have to have that suffering, you know, like it's kind of coming for all of us.
Well, we're not
A
going to
good
get out of
life-
the pain.
Yeah,
Yeah.
a good life doesn't make you immune to
Yes,
the
yes,
ravages
yes.
of the human body.
Yeah.
That's right. The body
It's
is the
something we all
body.
have to like confront.
That's
Yes,
right.
I know someone whose husband was killed by a drunk driver years ago, and you know, she always goes back to why him and why us. And I would never say this to her, but it's like,
Yeah.
Well, why
I mean,
not?
why not? Why anybody?
Yeah.
Why anybody? And so how do we distinguish once again pain from suffering? It's very important. One is inescapable, the other is optional. Ooh. One is inescapable. And the other is optional. What is it? The resistance, the refusal that it shouldn't be this way of it all. And there is pain in this life, isn't there? Unavoidable, inescapable reality. The body is going to dissolve. And it's not going to go happily, mostly. Right? It isn't. It's going to break, it's going to fail. It's generally. And even then, what's the truth? The pain of the loss of the thing, of the person, of the idea, of the hope. That's the pain of this human life. Unavoidable, inescapable. But suffering is one thing only, by the way. It's not complicated. What is its one thing? Shouldn't be like this. There it is. Really? Why? Why shouldn't it be? Because we don't like that. And by the way, I don't like it better. I'm in no way taking claim on, I'm a friend of pain. Oh, no, no, no. I'd be a liar. My knee hurts. I can barely stand it. Right? Except I know that I can barely stand it, which helps. Like, really? What part of you was thinking you wouldn't have a knee that hurt? Where'd you get that idea? How'd you get there? Because you what? What did you do that you thought you shouldn't? It's a joke. Now I can laugh. And by the way, the pain hurts less. And I'm not joking. The actual discomfort in my knee is lessened by the ha ha. I thought that should just what, be happy for 99 years? Right? That's funny. It's pretty laughable, right? Yeah, we love problem solving and resolving.
And I just looked around, I went, there's nothing for me to do here. You know, and all these tables set up and then I came back to today's practice. For a moment, how do it, stop it, and then that possible fear. And I only experienced just today.
Yes.
And then I think, I really like to solve problems,
Yes.
strategize,
Yes.
and if I don't do that, boy, fucking right.
It's terrifying.
So that
Right.
was kind of it.
Yes. And that's so true, Leanne. The truth is
Tingly.
we're all pretty
good.
smart folks, you know. We are educated generally. We have our own wisdoms. We have resources generally. We're all eating. We all have a place to live, right? We have things pretty good. And so we're pretty good at going, how do I get out of this? Well, strategizing, problem solving, resolving, brainstorming, come up with a plan, come up with an action item, come up with let's get it going. Let's do it really. Let's make the connects. Let's do the things we do until we're in a situation where nobody's got a name or a name tag. And there's nobody to talk to, or nobody comes to the thing, or not only do they come, they don't want to work with you, or they, right? I mean, there it is. And then we go, uh-oh, something's not working. Well, our distraction capability is right there. Get busy. Do something.
Or with me, I can figure it out.
Yeah.
But I think it's stopping.
Yep. Can I be in it first?
Yeah.
It doesn't mean you don't, that problem solving is inherently bad, right? We don't want to say that,
But not all.
but it's not going to be a solution to the pain of this human life. It is not. It's a falsity.
It's stopping.
Yeah, being with this, called scared like this, not liking it like that, terrified like this, right? And no problems in any of that, right? This is just human life in its arising. And we do have our Western culture is well integrated with the belief thought that if you get it right, you can avoid all that. Don't we? We really do. If you have enough money, smarts, connections, house, you
Always a
can,
workshop.
yep, there's a workshop for it. You can get out of it. There's the breathe degrees, folks. Head right on over. And again, there is no problem inherent in a wellness center, in Breathe Degrees, in problem solving and being creative, in solution finding. We have plenty of things to work on. We do not want to get caught in the ever, because you are going to be flattened by the reality. Because there will eventually be what? Nothing to do. It's the truth. And then the being is all we have. And can then, the work is, the practice for me is, can I stay in compassion and open-hearted, both for me and for others in their struggle? In their struggle. Right? And death just provides a beautiful container for this, doesn't it? It's good. You're going to watch everybody do that, but it shouldn't have. Why did it? How come they didn't? What they failed, and these people, right? And the system, and how do we stay open-hearted and in that vast open space to see what's possible? What's possible, and what is always possible then, since fixing isn't going to work, changing isn't going to work, resolving isn't going to work. What is always, always, always right there?
That's
I don't even know if we have that. I like the idea. Eventually, I hope for that, but I don't think it's always there. We have the breath as long as we're breathing. And how does that help us?
in the present moment.
Yeah, we have now. We have the present moment in its infinite open space, don't we? We do, all around. And what do? I don't know. And it may be nothing, and it may be something, and I don't even have to figure that out because I'm not there yet. But what can I do here? I'm here. I can be here. I can open here. I can know the body here. I can know your experience here. I can look in your eyes here. And I can feel, and then, right, and open to us all, over and over and over. And that will equal an absolutely perfect life. Perfect. And what did you do? I don't know what else you did. I know you showed up. That's what you did. What else did I don't know. I haven't figured that out yet. My most present moments have always been the ones where I ran out of strategies. Nowhere else to go. They are also my least favorite moments, I might add. The best, least favorite. Nowhere, nothing, up against the wall. I can't fix it. I can't change it. I can only be in it. That's it. That's it. And the most pristine, the most valuable, the most wisdom, the most compassion, and the most love are right there. Groundless. Nowhere else to go. Nothing else to do. Who's going to be able to avoid that? Anybody? Anybody out there see it? Not me either. And so then what? Can we practice, right? We practice in shallow water. We practice when it's quiet. We practice when we're in a group together, right? We use collective heart mind to go, well, you're doing it. I can try a little bit breath here too. I can let go just right here instead of thinking about it or figuring it out or having a great idea. Remember my joke with my own practice life of writing poetry for years. La, 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 la. That's pretty good. La, 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 la. That's good too. La, 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 la. Hey, really good. And I try to get my teacher engaged in my, you got to hear this, is great. And she refuses. No. Nope. I don't care how good it is. It's not gonna save you. Is it? It's not gonna save you. And in fact, it's gonna hurt you. Because you're gonna think if you can rhyme this stupid stuff, it's gonna make it easier. And there's no rhyming that makes it easier, is it? So she went, you might as well forget about it. And I thought, that's so rude. So rude. She was saving my life. She was saving my life, wasn't she? So rude, so compassionate, so loving. Don't waste your time.
It's in your group of poets.
Got that to hold. Got it. Good. Substantially holds me something. No words, forget about them. Great idea. Never mind. You're not going to have a great enough idea when someone you love or you are dying. You are not going to have a great idea. And so then why waste your time on all those great ideas? Now, it doesn't mean we don't take action, because compassion, loving kindness, joy, and equanimity are actionable. They are actionable, aren't they? That is every moment that but not because of any great idea. It doesn't come from there. I would like to suggest it might get in the way. If I'm thinking about how I'm going to be with my mother on Monday now, what? My mother's not here. I don't know how my mother is. I don't know what she might most need. I can't be open to a thing that has not yet arisen. What the hell am I doing? Doesn't mean I can't go plant a succulent. That's not right. Sure. That's good. But that's not the same as being with her in her fear, her pain, her confusion, her denial. Completely open. Completely open. So when they say the Dharma practice is fearless, do you get what it means? The Dharma is fearless. What does it mean? I'm opening and going no matter what it is. Right? Cry like this, scream like this, scared like this, mad like this, unfair like this. Doesn't matter now, does it? I'm going because what's my option? Denial, avoidance, shut down, or what? Great ideas about how it should actually be. So we're not going to waste our time, right? We would call this a ridiculous waste of time before you arrive. Before you arrive, forget about it. Don't do it. Don't do it to yourself. And then don't do it to others, because guess who can feel that? The person who you just showed up for and go, guess what we're going to do today, Mom? We're going to plant succulents. Really? I think I'm dying, but otherwise it's a great plan. My heart's breaking, but otherwise that would be pretty. And it doesn't mean we can't do it, does it? That's not the point. Don't mistake it. It doesn't mean you can't solve the problem. It doesn't. It means don't do that first. Don't do that first. Show up. Be still. Open. How are you? How is this? And she's gonna cry. Isn't she? And then maybe I'll cry too. Right? And maybe that's most important. And then succulents or none. Right? You know, lunch or not. Her favorite Starbucks salted caramel cold brew. Now it's not the point anyway, is it? And then you can do any of it or none of it, right? And it's actually all good, isn't it? Then it's all good. And then we can't mess it up. Can we from there? It's not possible. Anxious or not, angry or not, right? Just another arising. Okay. All right. My brother says to me the other day, I don't know what to say to mom. I went, sure. Maybe nothing. Well, I don't want to just sit at the other end of the phone. I went, why not? That might be the truth. You're at least on the phone, which is better than avoiding being on the phone, which is what you're currently doing. Right? And maybe you say, I don't even know what to say. And wouldn't that be okay? But I'm here. I'm here. I don't know. I got nothing. I got nothing. Well, that's probably the best truth. I got nothing, but I'm here. And that's the definition of emptiness, by the way. I didn't preconceive this great idea. I just showed up. Maybe that's the best. And then together, we'll hold that. And then what else comes? Might, right? And we hate the idea, don't we? And so we're going to rest for a few more minutes before 9 o'clock in just resting without any great ideas. And if you have a great idea, smile. There I am. One more good idea about how to get out of this thing. Yeah. And then you're never here at all. And think about the pain and the harm of that. And then you're not here at all. You're just in some good set of ideas or actions or plans, and we're all doing it, right? Can we feel for ourselves for this, just this moment, and open completely to the terror, the vulnerability, the sweetness, the tenderness of this human life? And then we find the ever arising and passing reality right here in the breath. And all is well. And we're going to be practicing in the next few weeks because I'm practicing with it as well, not grabbing anything. Not solutions or fixes or succulents or lunch. And then may we fill that open space as full to the brim and beyond as we can with loving kindness, with compassion, with joy and equanimity. And may we dedicate the benefits of this practice today to the end of suffering for all beings, beginning with ourselves, including those we love, those we like, even though those we don't like and don't know. May we remember that all beings, just like me, simply want to be happy and safe and free from suffering. And let that vast and boundless heart, which will consume the whole, no joke, the whole of open space, let it shine. And may this practice this very day, may it contribute. I will be sending out the link for the book that will start in September called How You Live is How You Die. Oh, how tiny. How you live is how you die. And it's true. The mind you cultivate now is the one you're going to have. So we might as well work on that a little bit. And we're going to be doing a little 30-day practice together, starting on September 11th through October 10th, which will be the first day of retreat. 15 minutes in the morning. We'll be online Zoom. Bang, be there. We're going to use that as a essential daily practice opportunity, as well as a fundraiser for the Ukrainian Children's Fund and Insulate Ukraine. People I've made some contact with who are doing very, very, very important things. And we're going to see what we can do in both of those ways to support them. So thank you so much, everyone. Have a beautiful day. And well, we'll keep practicing, won't we? Just like